Hi, we're back in the hotel after work. We're talking about our beginner toolkit. We're moving on to the honorable mention section, a little bit more in-depth guide. This one, zip ties. Now, you might think, oh, I just made a mess. Yeah, but that's all right, I got zip ties. And there's a couple things and a couple features about these. There's not a whole lot going on with the zip tie or a cable tie. And I'm sure, just like with a lot of the other stuff, zip tie is more than likely a brand name. But they are kind of interchangeable. Anyways, so what I'm trying to do with one hand as we talk is organize these up into a little bundle that I am able to zip tie together. So it's hard to do with one hand while holding the camera. Anyway, put that here for just 1 second. So zip ties out, but look, now I've got a nice little zip tie bundle. I can flatten them out. Set them in my tool bucket, and now I got all these zip ties easily accessible. And you might say, oh, you just wasted a zip tie, but let me show you a couple little tips and tricks on zip ties. We'll get the flash going on here. I've got this precision screwdriver set from our other honorable mention right here. So let me give you a little bit of a tour on this cable tie, commonly known as zip tie. So you have this little plastic tab inside the square. That's what makes it zip, and that's what actually secures itself on these little ribbed sections in here. So the actual zip sound is that plastic tab rubbing against these notched this notch section on the cable tie. So you notice this side doesn't have it, this side does. So you've got a tapered end on this side, and it does have a nice little preformed angle to make it a little bit easier to attach them. Look at, I can do that one-handed while looking through a camera. That's pretty neat. So anyways, you got this little tab here, and if I can push it in, that's what's making that actual ticking noise. So, and then that's what also makes it not open up, because the way these are notched, these little grooves are notched, they're angled on one side and flat on the other side, and this little plastic tab catches on the flat side but then slides on the angled side. So a lot of times these are one-time use, they're one and done. However, there are a couple tips and tricks that you can do to reuse these in a pinch. One of these, I've known about, but I just saw a little short from Chris Fix, and we'll talk about that one in a second. But the one that I've done before in the past, if I can do this without my phone stand, so you might never see this video. Anyways, you take like a little piece of something. In this case, it's a small flathead screwdriver, and I don't know what just happened to my screen. So anyways, let's set something up here. Okay, so you got the zip tie here. You got that little tab that you're trying to open up. You take this little screwdriver and you can press that little tab. You just unlock it, and then you can pop that down and you can get your zip tie released. So let's see if I can do it and keep it in frame. It's a little finicky, but it's doable. So anyways, you can do this. And I mean, I've done this in the past. It's a little finicky, but it works. It's just about moving this tab up out of the way. A lot of times I'll go through and I'll maybe bend it up this way some. And you can't see what I'm doing. I'm just wasting my time right here. Anyways, and then one of the other things that works is if you take this pair of pliers, or in this case, our handy dandy vice grips, and then basically you're doing the same thing except you're doing it a different way. You're squeezing this and you're just making that plastic tab move out of the way. So then that gives you back your zip tie. Anyways.